Whoa. All right. Well, there's that. You guys heard the falling of my light. How's everybody doing today? Today is it Thursday already? Dang. Today is Thursday. Hope you're having a great morning on this Thursday. I almost said a great morning on this Thursday morning. Jeez Louise. Hope you're having a great morning on this Thursday. And with that, today is going to be a pretty slow movie news day. Excuse me. I've looked twice and I haven't seen much of anything, so I've only got a couple articles here to go over, and it's all MCU or DCU stuff. So let's go ahead and get right on to it. All right, so first up, we got Kevin Feige confirming Fantastic Four will lead directly into Doomsday as Marvel sets its fourth 2028 release date. So this one, we kind of got two articles in one here. First one, Kevin Feige confirms Fantastic Four will lead directly into Doomsday. And then, hold on, real quick. Let me just fix something real quick. Hold on. Okay, so the first part of this, we have Kevin Feige confirms Fantastic Four will lead directly into Doomsday. So I think that for me personally, that brings up the question of what about Spider-Man? Does that prove that Spider-Man, it genuinely does not matter when the Spider-Man 4 exists within the timeline of the multiverse saga? It could be before, it could be after Doomsday. I would assume it would be before, but why would that movie not then lead straight into Doomsday? So, or are they going to postpone it by a week? So, who knows with that? We got to hear from Sony on that. But I think we've kind of already all suspected that and predicted that it would lead directly into Doomsday. This kind of does confirm the rumors about the post-credit scene that it'll be Doctor Doom and he'll be taking Franklin. It kind of confirms that, I think. Kind of just reading between the lines there. But again, at the same time, it's just like, why, if this movie's coming out July this year and it doesn't lead into the movie, or it leads directly into the movie of Doomsday, that doesn't come out till December. Why have this movie so far out from it? Like, I guess to be fair, it was in May originally, or April or May, so that's probably what they were expecting, and then just things got shuffled around. So, but why not then change Spider-Man to lead directly into Doomsday? Those are the questions I have. But let's see what Kevin Feige has to say. A new trailer for the Fantastic Four First Step screened during Disney's Cine Europe presentation yesterday, with Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige doing the introductions. According to Deadline, Feige teased Avengers Doomsday, now shooting in London, and confirmed that the events will lead directly into, or the events of F4 will lead directly into Doomsday. This isn't entirely unexpected, of course. Come on, comicbookmovie.com. I don't want to do that. This isn't entirely expected, of course, but it's somewhat surprising for any Marvel ex exec, particularly Feige, to be so open about what sounds like it's going to be a pretty major plot point. Then again, we already saw the Fantastic Four or their ship, at least to arrive in the main 616 universe in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, which is clearly a pretty big Doomsday tease itself. If rumored details of the first steps post-credit scene stinger are accurate, yep, that's what I talked about, the sequence won't directly set up Doomsday, but it will introduce a certain pivotal character. And related news, Disney also announced that Marvel Studios has scheduled an untitled movie to hit theaters on December 15th, 2028. This would be the fourth Marvel feature to release that year, with previously announced films scheduled for February, May, and November. Okay. So with that, this is kind of leading into the second part of the article, the 2028. So a lot of people are thinking it's going to be X-Men. A lot of people think it's going to be X-Men. However, if Spider-Man 4 is in 2026, there's an argument to be made that they're going to make Tom Holland do these Spider-Man films back to back like he did the last ones. And one of these release dates could be for Spider-Man 4. Now, it's up to Sony to actually release that date or release that title in these dates, but I could definitely see it happening. And December has kind of become the date for big movies. So I think it kind of started with what was it, with Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and then all the trilogy movies came out in December, and then I believe the last Avatar came out last December too. The next two Avengers movies are going to be coming out December. So I think this is going to be a big ensemble type movie, which would tell me X-Men, or another movie that came out in December was Spider-Man No Way Home. So if there's Spider-Man 4 and it's a big enough movie, it could take that December slot. February, I would assume Black Panther 3. May would be, I think honestly May and November are going to be either Thor 5 or both will be new titles. I think that's what it'll be. And then December 15th will probably be X-Men. So let's go ahead and read what comic book movie has to say. A somewhat surprising move has given the studio's new quality over quantity mandate, but it's worth keeping in mind that Marvel is not exactly known for sticking to every release date it sets. Yes. There's been some speculation that this new date could mean that Avengers Secret Wars will be splitting into 2 parts, but this doesn't appear to be the case. That'd be interesting too. I don't see how you couldn't do Secret Wars in 2 parts. I mean, I'm sure that you could, but I don't see how you couldn't. Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars were recently hit with significant delays, with Doomsday now set to arrive on theaters December 18th, 2026, and Secret Wars postponed for December 17th, 2027. Both movies will be directed by the Russo brothers, who also make their MCU return after helming Captain America Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers Infinity, Avengers Endgame. Being able to create this is what they said at SDCC. Okay, who cares about that? So with that, is that it for the this is just all the chairs, the chair Avengers. Okay. So with that, I mean, I think it's most likely going to be X-Men. I think it's obviously over 2 years away, so nobody truly knows. I mean, I think Kevin Feige might not even know. They might have plans for it to be one specific thing, but I'm not too sure. I think it would either be Spider-Man 5 or X-Men. Those are my 2 predictions, so I guess only time will tell. With that, go ahead and let me know down below what you think about the Fantastic Four leading directly into Doomsday and Marvel setting a 4th mystery movie for December 2028. Moving on from that, sticking with the Avengers Doomsday stuff. Avengers Doomsday is Avengers Doomsday set report seemingly confirms plans to introduce the Sentries. Ooh, spoiler. I don't know. I'm gonna assume his hometown. Let's see. The BBC is reporting that Marvel Studios is looking to construct another Avengers Doomsday set in the UK, this time on the Bracknell Forest side of Windsor border and the neighboring royal borough of Windsor and Maidenhead. Jesus. Marvel Studios is seeking a 10-week. Okay, come on. Marvel Studios is seeking a 10-week planned permission from July 14th and September 20th to give them time to construct and deconstruct the set, which is described as a house with a pavement and road markings. Filming would take place for only 1 day in August. Jesus. They have to build that for that long and then film 1 day and then tear it down. Oh my gosh. Yes, 10 weeks of work for 1 day of shooting. That's insane. That must make this a crucial location for Avengers Doomsday. In planning, the application confirms that this is Annie Reynolds' house. Oh, okay. And the planning application confirms that this is Annie Reynolds' house. It will be constructed on the Prince Consort's Drive near the Windsor Great Park Environmental Center. Actress Molly Carden played Annie Reynolds, the mother of Robert Reynolds, in Thunderbolts. While it's possible Marvel Studios is using code names, it seems to suggest that Bob/Sentry will be reunited with his mom. I hope that goes well, because if he's Void, then yikes. As we saw in the Thunderbolts, aka New Avengers, the way she reacted to her son attempting to stop his father's violent outburst played a pivotal role in the darkness that surrounds Bob to this day. Marvel Studios clearly has big plans for the Sentry, and this reunion could be what allows Bob to become a full-fledged hero who can help turn the tide against Doctor Doom. With so much of Avengers Doomsday set to film in the public area over the summer, it's surely inevitable that we'll eventually get set photos, while Marvel Studios will keep doing everything possible to keep the movie secret under wraps. Or the movie secrets under wraps. Something will surely leak at some point. Yeah. Okay, so this is where they're going to be. Interesting. Okay. Why wouldn't they just get a house that's already built and CG around it? Why do they got to build this whole thing for 10 weeks for 1 day? What the fuck? I don't know how movies work, but that seems like it'd be a way easier route to go. So, with that, do you think it'll be Do you think it'll be Sentry or his mom? I don't think so because the one that we've already seen with the door is called like Luke Cage House or something like that, and it's definitely not. So I think they're just using more code names to try to throw people off, which I'm for. I don't like the movies being spoiled beforehand. I like going into these movies surprised. Like it's gotten to the point where I stopped watching I stopped watching some trailers. Like usually I watch like the teaser and one of like the main trailers, or not all two or three of them. So because I watch zero TV spots because it just gives so much away. You go in and you feel like you saw the coolest parts of the movie already. So I like being surprised. With this, do you think this is the case where they're going to do 10 weeks of work for a 1 day shoot for The Void? Or do you think it's something else? I think it's something else. It's got to be something with Doomsday or Fantastic Four. I don't think it's got anything to do with Century. But with that, you go ahead and let me know down below what you think about that. Okay, moving on now. One of the biggest issues that we've had in the fandom is that should they have recast T'Challa? A lot of people think yes. I am on the end that thinks no. They made the right choice doing what they did. I don't think they made the right choice making Shuri the Black Panther, but I think they made the right choice in having T'Challa die within the movie because Ryan Coogler had to do a page one rewrite. He didn't know anything about this that was coming. So for Chadwick Boseman's untimely death, they and anybody that filled those boots, filled that mask, whatever you want to say, filled those claws, the whole time, every single person would have been comparing his acting, whatever this new actors would have been, to T'Challa's acting. That's why I think they made the right move in killing off T'Challa in the world. So that way there was no comparing. You could tell there's moments where you missed T'Challa. You could see how Chadwick Boseman's influence as the character of T'Challa would have fit well in Wakanda Forever. But also at the same time, I think that's a better route to go than, oh, Chadwick would have said it like this or acted like this or done like this, and just compare the whole time. Because when you're comparing the actors to the character of other actors that have played that character, it ruins the movie. It takes you out of it. So that's why I think they made the right choice. But I think it also has now come time to recast T'Challa, and it looks like that might be happening. So let's take a look. F1 star revealed suspicious reaction to Black Panther MCU casting rumor. With Black Panther confirmed to return to the MCU, with Letitia Wright set to play the characters in Avengers Doomsday and Ryan Coogler working on Black Panther 3, rumors have circulated online about Marvel Studios replacing the late Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa. Following Boseman's passing in 2020, Marvel Studios vowed to not recast the character in Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, with his death being written into the story. 5 years later, Marvel Studios apparently wants the beloved character to return to the big screen. Yeah, I think enough time has passed now. I agree. Many actors have been rumored and fan cast for the role, but F1 star Damson Idris might legitimately be in the running. At least his nervous reaction about the casting seems to suggest so. During a recent appearance on the Today Show to promote F1, which also stars the former Marvel star Brad Pitt. Okay, former Marvel star, that's a fucking lie because he was in one half a second scene in Deadpool 2. So what a twist on words of this stupid article, Movie Web. You suck. Damson Idris was asked about the rumors surrounding his Black Panther 3 casting. Upcoming Marvel movies are some of the most secretive projects in Hollywood. As a result, Damson Idris wouldn't have revealed the answer even if the rumors were true, but his answer left everyone who witnessed it feeling incredibly skeptical and suspicious. In a very nervous voice, Damson Idris quickly said, yes, no. So it could have been like, yeah, no. Like, like us Californians say it like that. Damson Idris was then asked if would take on the challenge of replacing Chadwick Boseman if he was hypothetically cast in Black Panther 3. The actor was far more sure of his answer to that question, sternly answering yes. At the time of writing, Marvel Studios hasn't revealed any plans to recast the character T'Challa, but there was concept art that was leaked that showed a recast of an older T'Challa, so we'll see. Letitia Wright Shuri is the current Black Panther. Black Panther Wakanda Forever revealed that T'Challa secretly had a son who's expected to grow up to be the next ruler of Wakanda. I'm also fine with them doing that too and aging up the son, but we'll see. Marvel Studios is caught between a rock and a hard place regarding the recast of T'Challa in the MCU. The majority of the fan base is arguably against the decision. Oh, I would agree. I would disagree with that. I would say majority of the fan base is actually for the decision to recast T'Challa, especially now. Okay. I don't care about their opinion. Dang, I was hoping there'd be a video so you can actually like see his facial reactions because seeing yes no, or I'm sorry, hearing him that he said yes no versus seeing him say yes no and seeing his facial reactions, his body language, everything like that, that makes a pretty big difference. But with that, so for those that don't know, let's look at Damson Idris. Again, they do this thing. Okay, I'm just gonna look up the guy because again they did the thing. All right, this young fella. Come on now. All right, I guess that's one of the best ways we can get it. There you go, better picture. So this is Damson Idris. This is the guy that's going to be in F1. And what do you guys think? Do you think he fits the bill of Black Panther? I think he does. So, and I haven't seen him in anything, to be fair. So I will be seeing him in F1 next week. So I guess that will determine my thoughts on him. But so far in the trailers, he looks like a good actor. He looks like he could put up I guess, a good fight. He looks like he could kind of keep up with the MCU snarkiness and the way that his character is in F1. Other than that, I don't have too much to say because I haven't seen him in anything. But if he's a good enough actor, I think he could do it. So with that, go ahead and let me know down below. What do you guys think? Do you think that this guy Damson Idris could be the new Black Panther? Let me know. Let's see. All right, almost done here. Hey, okay. Going to the last article of the day. So, like I said, today's going to be a short movie news day. There really wasn't much out. We'll check again if there's any kind of breaking news on the movie end front, but I didn't see anything else. But what I did see was another DCU story. James Gunn saying a very, very, very famous actor has pitched a DCU movie. Hold on, I feel like I have to sneeze. Oh, I guess not. Okay. The universe has already slated the upcoming movies and shows. Superman flies into theaters in under a month on July 11th. Supergirl arrives in less than a year on June 25th. And several other major projects are in development, including Clayface, Swamp Thing, Batman Brave and the Bold, Dynamic Duo, The Authority, Waller, Booster Gold, and the list goes on and on. Not to mention Matt Reeves' Elseworlds, the Batman franchise. Oh, yes. Good old Matt Reeves. Not making a movie, but producing a shit ton of them. But even on that plate, DC Studios co president James Gunn is still open to developing more projects, especially when they're pitched by insanely famous actors. There's just one catch, though: the script has to be a masterpiece. That's not fair because James Gunn can't say somebody's script has to be a masterpiece and then make a movie like Brightburn or the least like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I mean, I like Volume 2, but a lot of people don't. And I fucking hated the Suicide Squad. I thought that movie sucked. James Gunn recently sat down with Entertainment Weekly to discuss all things Superman and the DCU's Gods and Monsters phase of movies and shows. While the phase is already pretty mapped out, James Gunn said there's always room for more projects, especially under the Elseworlds label, the DCU's disconnected universe of movies and shows. The script still needs to be good, Gunn said of DC Studio Standard's new projects, or Standard for new projects. We are not going to make it unless we like the script, but I think that there are exceptions. Providing Superman is a hit with critics, the DCU is set to reignite. Yeah, watch him say this, and Superman fucking sucks. Oh man, how ironic that would be. As a result, James Gunn and Peter Safran and other representatives are likely being in inundated with movie pitches. Even some immensely famous actors are getting on board the hype train. But Gunn admitted that the name isn't enough to sell a DC Studios movie, as the script has to be nothing short of a masterpiece. He explained, I told one person who came in and pitched something that was an Elseworlds tale. It was a very, very, very famous actor. I said, it depends on how the screenplay comes out. If it's a masterpiece, I'll make it, but it has to be a masterpiece. He laughs and he is like, I don't know if it's a masterpiece. He got all funny talking about the guy that pitched it. He's still working on it though. He's still trying to do it, so we'll see. Masterpiece might be pushing it, but it's got to be really great. All right. I think it's Quentin Tarantino. I think that's the person who pitched the movie. Oh, I guess he says it's an actor though, huh? Never mind. Okay. If it was an actor, I'd say Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino did stop uh, developing his movie, The Film Critic or The Critic. And if he had found something that he liked in DC, I could see Quentin Tarantino writing a DC movie. But he says specifically actor is doing a pitch. So I I think there's no way in hell it's Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't think it's going to be somebody older like Robert De Niro. And I'm just trying to think of who's on the hot list right now as far as actors go that are very, very famous. I'll be honest, I don't know. Very, very, very famous is a bold statement to make. So we'll see. Does anybody have any ideas? You guys let me know in the comments. James Gunn, let's continue with this. James Gunn cares more about a good script than a deadline. A movie with nothing A movie is nothing without a script. The foundation of the entire project is built upon. Of course, there are exceptions, especially in genres like comedy, but to James Gunn and DC, a great script is paramount. So much so that he'd rather see a movie's development take longer than expected if it means getting the right script. Matt Reeves' The Batman is a quintessential example of this. Batman's taken forever to make, even though they already made the first one. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so again with that, I am not sure what actor this would or would not be. Yeah. I mean, technically Quentin Tarantino's an actor, so maybe uh, James Gunn's messing with his words. But I think a pitched movie from a very, very, very famous person would be Quentin Tarantino. I'm kind of sticking to that, and Quentin Tarantino has acted before, so I'm going to stick to that. That's the kind of the only person. That's the first person that came to mind. That's what my gut tells me. And Quentin Tarantino would laugh and say, "I don't know if it's a masterpiece." He would say something like that. I could see him doing something like that. So I'm going to stick with that. I have no I have obviously no inside sources. There's only two people watching the stream right now, and one of them's me. So, but that's what my gut tells me, or somebody along those lines. So with that, go ahead and let me know, who do you think this mystery person is that has pitched this good movie, but not a perfect movie or a masterpiece movie, to James Gunn for an Elseworlds Tale. You go ahead and let me know down below. Okay, and with that I mean that I guess I said I would look for some hold on. I said I would look for some breaking news. So let's see. Let's see. Movie news, updates. Let's just check this out, see if there's anything else in these few articles. Okay. Catherine Bigelow has a movie coming out on Netflix. Okay, that's cool. I guess. Saw, did we talk about Saw? I haven't talked about Saw this week. I talked about Saw. Okay. Blumhouse buys the Saw rights, teeing up James Wan's creative return to the franchise. So James Wan directed the first one, I believe, and maybe wrote or produced the second one. And then, but James Wan is huge with Blumhouse right now. They work on a lot of stuff together. So after two less than inspiring attempts to revive the Saw franchise of 2017 Jigsaw and 2020's Chris Rock star vehicle Spiral, from the Book of Saw, it had seemed for a spell of Jigsaw's morally blah 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 blah. Until 2023 saw a whole new different era of effed up fun and gruesome games awaits as genre behemoth Blumhouse has just bought the Twisted Pictures share of the rights to the franchise. Per Deadline's reporting, Jason Blum Studio has struck. We'll see. Wait, the deal Jason Blum Studio has struck will see Blumhouse acquire the rights to any and all future Saw projects across film, TV, games, theme park attractions, all of it. Oh, wow. With longtime franchise co-custodians, Lionsgate still aboard as production and distribution partners. Okay. This is exciting. This exciting new deal will also most interestingly see Saw's OG co-creator James Wan, whose Atomic Monster production company merged with Blumhouse last year, make a proper creative return to the world of Billy the Puppet and the Co for the first time since his story by credit on 2006's Saw 3. Saw holds a special place in my heart. It is where Lee and I began our Hollywood journey, said Wan in a statement accompanying Blumhouse's acquisition of Saw. Coming back to this world with a fresh perspective is both thrilling and deeply personal. For me, this will mark a significant creative return to the Saw franchise for the first time since the early days, and I'm very much looking forward to embracing the original spirit whilst pushing the legacy forward into bold, unexpected ways. And not only, oh, what the heck? And not only can Saw fans expect Wan to put his head back into the figurative reverse bear trap on the future Saw projects, if Blum's CEO, Jason Blum's own statement is anything to go by, also Wan's former partner in crime, Leigh Whannell, who has, of course, been working extensively. Stop these stupid ads, keep messing up the article, bro. With Blum in recent years on projects like The Invisible Man and Wolfman. The Saw franchise has defined a generation of horror, and its cultural impact continues to grow. making this a strategic investment in one of the most recognizable and successful genre properties of the last 2 decades, said Blum. But what really excites me about bringing Saw into Blumhouse is having James and Lee back into the fold and seeing the future of the franchise come to life with their guidance. Okay, so with that, what do you guys think? Are you excited for this? Are you not excited for it? Do you like the Saw movies? I actually really like Saw 10. I thought Saw 10 was great. I thought it was one of the best ones since like the first or second one. And so if you got the OG guys coming back, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. James Cameron returned to produce Terminator Dark Fate, and that movie still sucked. So I would hope not for Saw. What's his name? James Wan loves horror. Even when he did a little like sidetrack for Aquaman, there's still horror elements in it. The most like sidetrack movie he did was, I think, was it Fast 8? I think he might have done. Oh no, that was F. Gary Gray. Maybe it was Fast 7. So there was really no horror element to that. But James Wan loves his horror movies. So go ahead and let me know, what do you think about the Saw franchise joining in Blumhouse? Do you like what Blumhouse does with their franchises, or do you not? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's see. I went over this stuff yesterday. That's old news from last week. Excuse me. Don't really care about that. No. Okay. Jaws coming back for 50th anniversary. Kind of all knew that. I'm kind of over talking about James Gunn, to be honest with you, but apparently there's mystery TVs and shows. I'm not going to pay any attention to that because we just read an article saying that if the script's not a masterpiece, he's not going to move forward with it. So I don't want any tease from anything unless he says the script is a masterpiece. Talks about Clayface a little bit yesterday. Okay. Now, so an Avengers Level release date. Yep, that was that December one that we went over earlier. Okay. Nothing on Screen Rant. I think that might be it. So with that, let me know what you guys thought of today's show. Let me know if there's any articles that I kind of missed out on that you could send me links to, and then I'll start looking at those websites a little bit more as well. I'm always looking to update, upgrade, and make things better or newer or fresher or whatever it may be. So be sure to let me know what you guys think about it. And with that, that's all the movie news for today. So I will be back. Hopefully there's some movie news tomorrow. Usually I take Fridays off, but I also took Monday or Tuesday off this week. So there's some good movie news that comes out tonight going into tomorrow. I'll definitely have a show going tomorrow. So with that, I will see you guys in the next time. And in the next time, I was going to say in the next video. I'm used to recording videos too. I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Peace.